What's going on, y'all? It's Cam. Welcome to the next episode of Solutions. Today's topic is nutrition. Who we here with?
Tommy D, don't forget the D. Tommy Westbrook Jr. All the way live. Man, hold it together, man.
G.
I got you, Tommy D. Westbrook, man. I'll give him Tommy Westbrook Jr. Let's go.
What's going on, y'all? Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. With that said, we're going to get straight into the episode. Anyway, like I said, today's topic is nutrition, and the first thing is like make sure that most everything we talk about is finances, almost like the personal finances, but you also want to make sure that you're getting a high return on investment with the foods that you're putting in your body, because there are things that are attached to what you're placing in your body that you would have otherwise not expected to be related. So. I think we spoke about some ways that you can speak to that.
Yeah, in regards to nutrition, man, it's probably one of the greatest investments. You only get one body. It's your greatest vehicle. And I like to think of myself as a high-end vehicle. I don't know about you, but I want to put the best gas inside. And so to our people on the other side of the camera, the same thing is you want to see a return. And what does that look like? High energy. You don't want to be sleepy. You want to be able to take care of the tasks that you have at hand, sleeping well, skin issues, all the good stuff. So that's a great place to start. The food that you put inside to get a return on your, I think the return that I'm thinking about is like your purpose. Is it either fueling your goal or your purpose, or is it distracting it? Is it taking away from it? So we eat to live and not eat for taste.
And shout out to the restaurant, Let's Eat to Live. They food is busting. Y'all need to go check them out. I ain't gonna lie.
Shameless plug.
It's buzzing. But man, we had a conversation earlier. You also mentioned some things that you wouldn't see a correlation between. Absolutely. You speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. Food, I think, is, especially in the Black community. I think about food, I think about the Black church, I think about Auntie House, I think about Southern cooking, I think about the times with family, and I think about the itis, right? It's so much a part of our culture, just thinking about it right now, I'm getting excited. And one thing we always, talk about and share is, the high blood pressure, the diabetes, Big Mama, all those good things. And we all got somebody in our family that's facing it or going through it, but we never really talk about the mental health aspect of it or the behavior aspect of it. And that's what really caught my attention, was how food can really affect your behavior in a way that, you could be more susceptible to be angry, more susceptible to be violent, more susceptible to let go of them hands, put the paws on somebody. And that needs to be talked about, because if we are in a food desert or in a place where you got to go a mile to just get an apple, and I'm eating more processed and packaged foods, and it's leading me to be more angry or violent, then that's a predictable behavior. That's a problem. And it leads to over-policing, and it leads to more incarceration and, unfortunately, a lot of deaths, which we're not living long as a people. So it's definitely something that, I think is I believe is near and dear to my heart. And one of the main purposes why I'm here. It's been super big in like my immediate family as well as my life. I can't wait to dive into more with you.
Absolutely. So basically, you're saying it's important that we rebuild from the inside out.
Say it. You said it. Say it.
And
for sure.
You gave me like a concrete example. So you mentioned the mouse experiment.
Yeah. I'm gonna go into it, man. It's called the Great American Rat Experiment. You can look it up, but it was a study done in the late 60s or 70s where I'll just give you two neighborhoods as an example. We all from Illinois, Chicagoland area, so the most well-to-do area is Winnetka or Wilmette, right? They got the money, all the resources. And then let's think about the hood, poverty, below poverty line. Let's just use Austin. That's where I'm from. And so what they basically did is they gave these two subjects of rats different food. So in the good neighborhood or Wilmette, they gave them whole foods, y'all. When they gave them the whole foods, these rats were docile, they were gentle, they got along, and they lived generation after generation after generation. They got better over time to the point where they had to end the experiment early. They had to, put the rats down because they were living too long. And so on the other side, these rats in the Austin area, the hood area, they were actually eating processed and packaged foods, corner store, liquor store, gas station, brown paper bag, what I grew up on. And these rats were stealing from each other. They were killing each other. They were fighting. They had to separate them so they can actually continue the experiment. And by the third generation, they had completely exhausted themselves. Man, they were getting worse each generation. They had mental retardation. And what was really alarming was at the end of the experiment, they did an autopsy on both rats, both sets of rats. And the ones in the hood were disgusting inside, degenerated, all the stuff that we see, the high blood pressure, diabetes, and the rats in Winnetka, in the good area, they were like newborns, like fresh spring chickens. And so out of all that I said, what I really took away from it was that the food that we eat plays a major role in our behavior, which I believe in our area, we get over police, we have a pipeline to prison, we get thrown into detention, and if we have better resources, I think we'll have a better outcome.
Absolutely. And, here obviously we're all about solutions. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop some resources down below where you can click in and basically see some things that won't stretch your budget outside of, we don't know what your personal budget is, but something that's reasonable that you can refer to, that you can build off of, and make the change, make the right investment moving forward, because like he said, you only get one body. And the main thing, one thing I want to speak to that I took away from the rat experiment was the fact that the rats that were, we'll say, from the hood, they ceased after the third generation. And it's like, it's not only about you. It's not only internal. Food affects you externally. Food affects your loved ones. Yeah. Even if you have family members that you don't mess with, you're going to love your children. So if you love your children, make the investment for yourself, and don't let this be condescending, one step at a time. Even if you switching out, instead of getting fries, you getting a salad, and when you get your salad, make sure you go to Aldi's for it. Don't get McDonald's salad because they put in extra ingredients, and pay attention to the differences. And I mean, when you check it out, you would be surprised on how affordable it can actually be when you say meal prep. But try it for yourself. Even if you try it for a month, we'll say don't cold turkey, and we'll say try it for a week, because what you'll find is it really seems like I'm tricking you into taking care of yourself, which is a beautiful thing. But what you will find is after you get to the point to where you can go without processed foods at all, and you eat mostly whole. I live off of an 80-20 rule. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat pork anymore, which is something that you should definitely consider regardless of what you do moving forward. Terrible for you. I'm not even gonna get into it. But 80-20, you know what I'm saying? You eat good, eat good and intentionally 80% of the time, and enjoy yourself 20% of the time. So,
for sure.
For sure. What you will find is once you get to that week where you're eating mostly whole foods or only whole foods, if you're going cold turkey, your body will start to reject the foods that you were eating previously, and you will start to cut fat because your gut is resetting itself to accept what it was built for in the first place. If the cells in your body regenerate themselves after a period of time, how do things like arthritis, I don't want to say perpetuate because that's a big word.
That's a $50 word right there.
I don't think, if you see yourself as a $50 individual and you don't want to, you know what I'm saying, look it up. If you, Bro, look up what perpetuate means. Everything we share, like ROI, learn these terms because they will pay dividends moving forward, inside out. Now, bro, your body will start to reject the things that you were eating previously. And you will find that you feel better.
Yeah.
You look better.
Yeah.
You cutting weight or you putting weight on. For those of you that are small, like, bro, like it's a 180. So, just give it a week. Remember, you can do a week.
Yeah. I would like to second that, and it is about the transition. It ain't about going cold turkey, because we gotta be realistic about our lifestyle, our history. We're all different, Not all of us eat the same or come from the same background. So, my wife's Colombian, and so they actually have a huge pork skin, pork belly. They eat whole fish with the heads and eyes. Like the fish be looking at you while you eat it. So I'm just saying is, find what works for you. And if I could say anything is eat to live. And what does that mean? Eat with color. Color is going to be your best friend. Dark, green, leafy things. Also, if you can read the back of it, it's probably man-made. So stick to the things that the good Lord has created for us. And that's going to be on the outskirts of the supermarket. And you look on the back of an apple, you're not going to see the ingredients. So, you go to the produce section, you're not going to see the ingredients. So these are whole foods. These are things that are loaded with, I would say one of the biggest things is fiber. Processed packaged foods, corner store, liquor store, gas station, they lack fiber. And, majority of us, we just need a good bowel movement, and fiber is going to help with that. Being hydrated is going to help with that processing, getting good sleep, just being hydrated. Like, our body is mainly water. And so I would say that's a really big thing. And before I pass over to you, Cam, the two types of fiber we have is soluble and insoluble fiber. One of them is insoluble is like a tumbleweed. That's the kind of fiber you can think of like an apple or like celery. It's cleaning out your gut. So if you got stuff that's just sitting there, it's going to get it out. And then the soluble fiber is the fiber that's going to clean the plaque out of your bloodstream. So it's going to help with a lot of the main things that we have going on in our community, like high blood pressure, diabetes, just by eating things with color. And you can never eat too much.
Facts. Make sure y'all lay them burdens down, you know what I'm saying? And when you hear about colonoscopies and all of that, it cleanses your gut and it allows your body to reset itself. And the importance of that is, not only will you, if you're an athlete, will you perform better, but you'll feel better and you will live longer. Like, you will literally feel like, bro, like, I could do a windmill every time down the court. And that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to get up and run around because that's who we are. We were created to be energetic. We were created to be reciprocal. We were created to love one another. And it truly does have an inside out type of effect. So for my high performer athletes, we understand that not everyone may be able to afford coconut water. I personally buy it wholesale, like I order it online. That may not be the best option because I understand that some of you all may live in areas where they steal packages. So I say Sam's Club, or if you can, order it online and stalk the tracking so you know when it's coming in. But if you see yourself as a high performance athlete and you find yourself getting headaches or you find yourself not being able to perform throughout workouts, coconut water is definitely an investment for you. We're not gonna promote no specific brands yet because
they ain't paid you.
Yeah.
Send that man his check and then we can start naming brands and whatnot.
The sponsorship money isn't there yet, but coconut water is definitely an investment that you should look into. And like he said, if you find yourself getting something that is in a box or that is in a container, make sure you're reading the ingredients, because while you're making your decisions, you want to pick something that, like, say it said mustard. You want it to say, if it says kosher salt, it literally the exact ingredients that go in a mustard. If you see red 40 or yellow 6, or you're seeing things that you can't pronounce, that you can't read, that you don't recognize, stay away from it, because that's literally processed foods. When they don't feel the need to disclose specifically what it is, as in a color and a number, stay away from it if you can. Do what you can. You know what I'm saying? Like we were saying, it was an interesting dynamic that the kids are actually the ones that lead in decision making, and I didn't understand the concept at first, but you could share it with you.
Yeah, and I want to drop this too. I ain't gonna push it. If you got a body, you're an athlete. Because that's one of the biggest things, like getting up the stairs. You know what I'm saying? Being able to grab the groceries. I'm a one-trip type of guy. I don't know about you, but everybody may not have a strong man in the crib, and you may have to take multiple trips, and that can be a measuring tool for you. And that's athletic, and so it's just things like that, you know, or being able to kick it with your kids, grandkids, or family members, you know, or pets. You know, it's a dynamic to our life where we want to do it at a high level and do it well.